All right, welcome to episode 96 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today we are looking at Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 7, Storyboards from the DVD featuring Ashi fighting off armies. Exciting stuff.
So what next?
Aku.
Epic. Okay, a lot of fast cutting, cool stuff going on here. You can see the storyboards are solid. We have those red arrows in there showing that we're dollying in. Cut to the next shot. There's massive crowds charging towards camera. We're Ashi's point of view. You can see whenever we go to these epic shots, and generally Genndy Tartakovsky goes widescreen, extra widescreen, not just 16 by 9. You see there's a mixture of swords and spears for varied shapes with all these soldiers attacking. Spittle, blah, these guys are disgusting and gross. Sword coming forward to match the board. Blurring those lines, really making it all extreme and dangerous. And you can see the foreground at this point, by now, it's become clear in the foreground and blurred in the background. Now we're focusing on Ashi charging forward. She's never retreating. She's always going forward into these armies. Now, this is an ambitious shot here. So Ashi has to take on hundreds of soldiers. How to make this work? First of all, the front row has more detail. Next row has less detail. The row behind that has even less detail. And so the most detailed ones that are getting pushed off the screen first, they get the most real estate on the screen. And you can see all these wonderful silhouettes here with these characters as Ashi's pushing them all off the cliff. Really clear, really interesting. And then as she goes zoom, then, I mean, you can see that some of the characters in the background are just one color. All these wonderful silhouettes with all these spears. Preferring the spears when it comes to the silhouettes here instead of the swords. Because spears, well, easier to draw and just stronger, more abrupt silhouette. She goes around the corner. Okay, so she did well with that small group, but what about this? Now there's, hundreds, thousands here. Really minimal detail. We just got conditioned, even with Ashi here, to have really minimal detail in that previous shot. So this is all just about the motion here and the shapes. Look at all these ones going off the cliff into the wall. They quickly get smaller as they're going. Oh, it's almost abstract shapes as the soldiers are being thrown off here. You can see OS in the storyboard. That means off screen. All these ones that have fallen become held cells. The idea is that she's going around the mountain, around the mountain, around the mountain. She came around real quick. She's off screen. That's all that matters. Now she can come back on. Second wave here. Just immediately getting smaller, smaller, minimizing them as she goes. She's off screen again. You can see all these little tiny shapes. And as they fall, they're just reduced to these really, really small shapes. They're just simple shapes, just star-shaped triangles. Now we just saw all this abstract shape, so we want to just remind everybody, no, this is what's happening here. Get really close up, get the expression, there's this really cool cycles going on here with the soldier's head and with Ashi pushing. Now this line of soldiers here, they're all just waiting. They don't know what's coming, so they get thrown off here before we even see Ashi. And then Ashi gets exposed there. And look at the trail of silhouettes that she's leaving behind here. Again, it's almost these abstract polygonal shapes here, and they're all connected together. So we just get this it's almost like a wave that's following behind her here with the silhouettes. She's fast. She just blows through everybody. Whenever we get some that are close to us, we get more detail, like on the hands and whatnot. Most of the time, or a lot of the time, the hands are just drawn as little points. So we start as a close-up here, and we're oh, where are we? And then 4 frames smash out, dolly back, and we can see that they're all going in all directions. But this is like, okay, so Ashi took care of that huge crowd, but look at the even bigger crowd that we've got below here. And look at the lack of detail, but the ones in the front have more detail, and just it's all suggested after that. You can see these spears are blurred in the foreground here. Ashi's leaping this great distance, so it just shows us she's just basically traveling over top of the army. We see all these spears going past us. Strong pose. We don't need that much animation when she's got such a cool pose coming down. She's obscured by all these ones in the foreground here. You can see the storyboard idea was, solid, but it just took it further. sometimes reusing the faces and the poses just to get it all populated. Panning with the spears. Spears are motivating the pan. Offsetting the settles are all settling at different points. You can see those ones in the background are blurred. The ones in the foreground are nice and clear. So this point of view from Ashi here, her target is in focus. This soldier here, anticipating down, in focus, everything else is blurred out. And now he's panicking. He sees Ashi coming. So as we go to that, now we're going to rewind a few frames. We're going to play that same shot, but from the soldier's point of view. And she has to push the sword to her side. She's not invincible. We have to show some danger here. And again, that fist comes right in, wipes the shot. So in the boards, this was more of an upshot. We didn't see those soldiers in the background, but now that we see them, it's more effective. It feels more dangerous. And then we get this nice, convenient dust cloud blowing in. That in terrific directional shapes there. Some in front, some of the dust is in front, some of the dust is behind Ashi. She's really fast, ducking down here. The hair's trailing behind, panning with her, so she's going to move to the screen right, and that's going to motivate the pan. Just enough to show the soldiers getting kicked off screen there. And then she's going to kick back. And again, that's going to motivate the pan back there. And again, this dust here is so good because all those soldiers that were standing around, we can imagine they were still there, but we don't have to have them all just as, held and not advancing forward. We can just feel that they're there. Like, again, just look how populated everything looks here. Smearing her arm over there. And in the storyboard, all the swords got broken, but it makes sense to just only break the near swords and have all those other ones still be dangerous in the background there. So now continuing with this dust idea, now she's on the other side of the dust. All these spears are coming in from screen left. She emerges from the dust. 6 spears all pointing at her. She's never retreating, always advancing forward. Boom. It's fine. She breaks all the spears at once. It really abrupt, sets up the slower motion, so it's all about set up, fast, follow through, follow through, follow through. And then she breaks the sticks on a second attack here. That leads our eye over here. Boom. All these soldiers are lined up with that backhand, and they all go flying off like round bowling pins. She has a complete full follow through there. Hair waving in the wind. This is very similar to the 2D Star Wars stuff that Genndy Tartakovsky did in the mid-2000s there. And again, once you get a really good pose, you don't need to do that much animation on it. It's just hit that pose and have it rotate. Here we've got some soldiers, again, just showing, okay, these guys, they've practiced this. They're going to show that they're still tough. She's turning. Hair is trailing. More spears coming in. Eye direction shows what she's going to be doing. Dodging around. Clear silhouette. Still has one eye open. Here comes the arm down, leading with the elbow. Wraps around those spears, grabs it. Arm goes up. And small shape change here. Just smash. Snaps all those. Look at all the instant debris there. Everything happens all at once on one frame. Now again, she's just going to quickly turn around there. And look at this elbow coming up on screen right there. Such a simple adjustment. But once the pose is hit, she's leading with the elbow. That's motivating, or that's showing the turn. Here comes the spears. And boom, she lets them all go in one frame. Look at that wonderful straight line on the bottom of that arm. And again, just follow through, follow through, follow through. This was the original idea from what I could tell from the boards, and they took it further and said, oh, let's have a down shot here. Let's have all these soldiers closing in from every direction. And Ashi doesn't need to move at all here. This is what's telling the story, all this blue around the orange ground. So ahead to Jack here. Jack is meditating so he can get his sword back. Ashi comes in just in time as the arrow's about to hit him. She's tumbling around, spinning, coming towards camera, plants that hand off screen there. That's what allows her to land in control, get into that pose from the boards, settle down, nice and clean. She's going to stand up quickly, and that's what's going to motivate the camera to follow her up. Hero pose, ready for what's next. She just went through all these soldiers, but now she's got to fight her toughest adversary. Here comes this big spin kick. Coming around in fast. I don't think that the minion here is going to be able to dodge, but no, she's Ashi's teacher / mother. Of course she's going to be able to dodge. Big kick, follow through. That's still, it's not enough. And then Ashi's mom here is even faster than Ashi. Mom. Pain, distorted expression as the leg hits Ashi there, and boom, the leg just stays on screen. This doesn't follow through. It's just more about the impact. And Ashi's victorious here. At the end, she's a simple face animation, nothing needed on the body, just have the face settling down. So what's next, she says. Hero poses, always widescreen at these epic moments. Usually it's during the fights, but here this one is just all about Jack turning his head, Aku. And that's all he needs to say, leading into the next episode. And that's how that episode ends. Oh, so solid. Just so much wonderfully timed action here. And again, the DVD shows the pitches that Gendy did, and it's just so well thought out and planned. It all comes to fruition, and then the animation stands on the shoulders of the boards. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for checking it out, and I will see you next time. Take care.